Hey, I could have this conversation in any other video, but since we're talking about meal prep today, I want to let you know it's okay to tell people no, you can't do something on your designated meal prep day. You know, many of us who have been obese and morbidly obese, we have become yes people. We don't want to rock the boat. We don't want to offend anybody. We don't want to upset anybody, so we go along to get along. It's just kind of, who we become because, we were beat down when we were younger and made fun of, so we just go along to get along. Some of us, that is our personality now. And so I want to tell you, you have permission to say no. Today is my meal prep day. When people say, oh, but we can do this and you need to go do this and come with us and do this. And as fun as those things sound, as fun as they are, and as hard as people push, it's okay to have your designated meal prep day. I've lost 180 pounds because I have said no. Every Saturday is my meal prep day. You pick whatever meal prep day is yours. And that is my designated meal prep day. It is for my health. It is for my physical health, my mental health, my, my food health. That one day, this day allows me to stay on course for the 7 days a week. So I'm telling you, give yourself permission to say no. I heard today that, or the other day, that no is a sentence. And that's true. You can say no without having to be, oh, but this and that and the other, and justifying everything. I still justify everything. But it is okay to say, I'm sorry, today's my meal prep day. I can't do anything. So for me personally, Saturdays, I can't do it. Go to the fair. Sorry, I can't. I know my Red Hat ladies, they do so much fun stuff on Saturdays, but that is my day for myself to prepare myself for a whole week. And that is the one thing that I've done this whole time to stay on course. So for yourself, your physical health, your mental health, because they both go hand in hand, it is okay to say no on your meal prep day. Sometimes I feel like, oh, well, meal prep day, that sounds so trivial. Who cares? Who cares? That's kept me on track. It's kept me from getting diabetes. It's gotten me off the anxiety medicine. It's gotten me off the depression medicine. It's gotten me off of the diuretics, the blood pressure medicine. It's gotten me off the CPAP. So while it may sound a little trivial to say, oh, sorry, that's meal prep day, who cares? It's gotten me healthy. And now I can go do stuff the other days, because I designate my one meal prep day to me, myself, and I. So I just want you to know it's okay to say no, and it's okay to say, sorry, that's my meal prep day. It's okay. You have to take care of you because nobody else will. Nobody else is going to do this for you. So you have to take care of you and designate your meal prep day and do you on your meal prep day. It's for your own future. So you got to do something for your future self. So for me, meal prep day is the one thing I do every week. No ifs, ands, or buts. Unless I have excess meat, then I don't do it. I don't have excess meat this week. So I just want you to know it's okay to say no to other people who want you to go do something fun on your designated meal prep day. It's okay to say no. You have permission. Okay, now, on to the food. Hi, welcome to my channel. I've lost 180 pounds with keto, carnivore, and counting calories. Don't forget to check the description to this video. I have links to some of my popular videos, a link to my Amazon account for a lot of things that you all ask about. Don't forget I have a bunch of playlists on the homepage of this channel. Thank you. So in preparation for my trip, I've got to take some burgers when I bake my burgers in the oven, I line these really big, these are sheet cake pans, so they're really, really big. And I line them with foil because, one, it's less to clean up, but also they do not fit in my dishwasher very well. So this way I just line them. And I always double line them. So let me get one more liner. And there's always a lot of fat at the end of it, which is good because then that's fat you can use to make dog treats if you want to. Or fat you can use for your own, you know, you could add it to your green beans or your rutabaga or whatever you like to add your fat to. So, all right, there's one. I'm going to get this other one ready and then I'll come back and show you how I put in the burgers. So I've got both pans foiled and ready. These are the burgers I'm using. They're 100% pure beef burger, 75-25. So that means they're going to render a lot of fat when they're cooking. And since I don't save the fat with my burgers, in the end I'll just be left with the 75% lean part. I typically do not season my stuff when I cook it. Oh, wait, I was still going to use the fat for the dogs. Well, all right, I'll figure it out when I'm done. Oh, you can't see my thing. Hang on, let me move this. You just sit right there. All right, I usually do, I think it's 4 rows and 3 on each side. So I know I do 12, so I'm just going to get 12 burger patties in here, and then we'll line them up pretty. So give me just a second, I'll put the 12 patties in here. And when you get these, there are some of these, it cracks me up. They're usually lined the right way, you know, the paper on one side. But occasionally you'll get one like this, where the paper's on each side and not between the burgers. So you kind of have to hit them to make them fall apart. So now, let's get these lined up. I usually do three per row and 4 rows. And sometimes they kind of have to, because I do so many, they kind of have to stand up on the edges, but they shrink up as they're cooking, as you know. So it works out in the end. So now I'm going to get this other one going, and maybe. All right, these are ready. Let me get the other tray ready and I'll be right back. Okay, so here they are. This is 24 burgers. The oven just dinged and said it's at 400. So I'm going to pop them in for 20 minutes, 20. Okay, it's been 20 minutes. So we're going to, what I do is I rotate them after this time also, but I also flip them. So I'm going to pull one of them out and I'll get these flipped. And I found that whenever I use a metal flipper, a lot of times I end up breaking or cutting through the foil. So I'm breaking my burgers, I know it, but this is working. So I should have watched my old video. I don't remember if I thought I did 20 minutes and 10 minutes, but I could be wrong. So whatever, we're just doing 20 and 10 today. Now right here is where you could season them. I would not do it when they're still frozen because they're not, they're dry. So your seasonings would not stick. But right now with them being moist, I think the seasonings would stick. So if you're seasoning, now would be the best time to do it. I said I'm not, because I'm going to be using that rendered fat for dog treats for the dogs at the end of this. So here we go. Now I need to swap these out. This one was on the top rack. So now I'm going to put them on the bottom rack. I think I'm wrong on my time. So I'm going to do 20 minutes whenever I flip them over. Because they don't look as done as they did in the past whenever. I used to do this every weekend for my carnivore meal prep. When I was carnivore, I would take burgers every day. I would eat 8 burgers a day. I would divide them up various ways. Sometimes I would have 4, I'd do 2 mad, and I'd have 4 around 10 and then 4 around 5. Sometimes I would do 3 mad and I would have 2, 3, and 3. It would just vary, but I typically ate about 8 burgers a day. And so this is how I did them. So, all right. So now I'm going to put these in. Ziggy, timer 20 minutes.
20 minutes, starting now.
So, actually, Ziggy, oven timer 10 minutes.
Oven timer, 10 minutes, starting now.
So we'll check them in 10 minutes just to verify. And then if they're not done, then I'll do them for the extra 10 minutes. So I'll see you in 10 minutes. Okay, so the 10-minute timer's over. Let's see how they're looking. I feel like they need to go longer. Looking at this red here, you can see that. If I were to take them to work every day, then I would say this is good. But since I'm not going to have access to a microwave. The rooms do not have a microwave in the rooms. So I am going to go ahead and put them back in for 10 more minutes. That's the bottom ones. These are the ones that were on top 10 minutes. So, yeah, so we're going to do another 10 minutes. And then, so that will be 20 and 20. I guess I used to do 30 and 10, 30, 25, 50. I have no idea what I did, but we're doing 20 and 20. So I'll come back in 10 more minutes. So here they are. I'm going to let them sit out and kind of reabsorb some of the moisture. Just kind of let them rest. And I don't want to turn off the oven because I got another set to go. So, yeah, I will. I'll turn off the oven. No, I'm not going to turn off the oven. I don't have to run for no reason. I can heat it back up in a minute. Anyway, I'm going to let these sit for about 15, 20 minutes, and then we'll package them up. So I'll see you in about 15, 20 minutes. Ziggy, burger timer, 15 minutes.
For how long?
15 minutes.
Burger timer, 15 minutes, starting now.
All right, so I'm going to just let them sit and absorb the moisture, and then I'll pull them out and then work on seasoning them. And I've got another set to do, and I'll show you when everything's all cooked up. Okay, so I have them, actually I pulled them out and laid them on here. I've got this parchment paper. And now I'm going to go ahead and get them seasoned. Because like I said, I don't want to have to try to take seasoning. I've done it before, and it's okay. But this way I don't have to even worry about it. All I'll have to do is pull them out of the Ziploc bag, and they will already have some seasoning. So that's my barbecue bear rub that my mama got when she went to Alaska. This is some Badia Complete seasoning. And I'm going to season each side with the same stuff. And then I'm going to put in a little, just plain salt. I'm going to put on a little onion salt. And a little garlic salt. I'm going to flip them over and I'll do the exact same thing, and then I'll be back. In the meantime, I've got one more round of burgers to go. I'm just putting them on here. Let's see. Seems like there's 9 left. So we're just going to get these on. We'll just use one pan. And when they're done, what I'm going to do is put all the liquids, all the rendered liquid from both pans. I'll put them into one, kind of mix it up, and then I'll make sure I put it back in the oven and melt it, make sure it's all good and soft, because then we're going to be using that and we're going to freeze it for the dogs to have dog treats. But I'll get to that part at the end. So I'm going to put these back in the oven 20 minutes and flip them in 20 minutes. Okay, let's season the other side of these burgers. If you're watching and you're like, man, she puts a lot of seasonings on there. I do. You definitely do what's best for you. I still have diminished taste buds from my time of having COVID. So it takes a lot of seasonings for my mouth to really be able to enjoy a flavor of stuff. So you just do whatever amount of seasoning works for you. Or if you're strict carnivore, do no seasonings. But I'll take these, and I won't have to take any seasonings like I've done in the past. They will already be seasoned up, and that will be that. So now I'm just going to let these chill out, and then whenever the other burgers come out, I will start bagging these up. Actually, I'm just going to let these sit till they kind of dry out a little bit more, and then we will get these packaged up in packages of 2. And I do that for a reason. I'll explain all that later. So we'll put it in packages of 2, and whenever they've cooled off a little bit more, because they're too warm for me to just put in a Ziploc baggie. Okay, so what I do is I'll take 2 burgers and put 2 burgers in one of these little Ziploc bags. And then when I'm done, I'll put 4 baggies into a bigger Ziploc bag. So again, it's enough that I can have 8 burgers each day. Even if I don't eat them, even if I go out to eat, it's okay. I don't mind bringing home burgers because the hotel rooms have a refrigerator, and I'm okay with the fact of, having more burgers than I need. I'd rather have more burgers than I need than not have enough burgers. So I'm going to go ahead and get these. The other set of burgers are finishing up in the oven. And when those are all done, I will show you how it's looking. I just took the foil off of one of these. The other one's still in the oven. Let's see. Now it's clean. And you could also do a wipe down if you want to. But that's the beauty of foil. Clean as a whistle. So I poured all of the rendered fat and the little bits of meat that came off the burgers, and I'm going to let this sit for a little bit. One thing I have found that whenever I do it in the foil, it sticks to it, and it's hard to pull away from it whenever to get the little dog bites. So you can make your own human fat bombs with this, or whatever you want to do with it. You could add this to all kinds of stuff, and I'm sure it would taste really, really good. I just want to cool it down a little bit, and then I'm going to pop it into the freezer, so then that way I can chop it up into bite-sized pieces. But for now, I'm just going to let it cool down so it doesn't defrost everything that's in my freezer. Well, I had a pleasant surprise. There was 33 burgers in here. I'm going to double check, but my first set that I cooked 24 first, and then there were 9 left. So that's pretty funny. So I had an extra burger in my box of burgers. So score for Terry. But yeah, so I'm going to set this burger aside and I'll eat it later. I could give it to the dogs, but I've already seasoned it, so I can't do that now. So now the next step is we put our burgers into Ziploc bags. So we have Thursday. There's 2, 4, 6, 8. So I'm going to package them up. And what I'm going to do is we leave on Tuesday, and I go to work Tuesday. So I'm going to leave Tuesday out of the freezer, so then that way Tuesdays can go, I can eat it Tuesday. And then Monday evening, I'll pull all of the others out of the freezer, 2, 3, 4. I'll pull the others out of the freezer, and then that way Tuesday morning, it'll all go in the cooler, and they will defrost enough by Wednesday morning when I get up there. So, so that's my plan. We have Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday. And so that's my plan. That's how I'm going to eat. I have enough. Like I said, I can do 2 at breakfast, 3 at lunch, 3 at supper. If they have food that I'm okay with eating, you know, I don't have to eat my burgers. Last year, sometimes I would make a salad off of some of the stuff that they had. If they have, you know, a Southwestern day, a taco day, I could have my meat. I'm also going to take some of those Quest protein chips. If you're carnivore, here you go. You've got 2 pounds of meat ready for each day. And so that is how I do my carnivore keto meal prep for taking on a trip. Something I also did, you can go back and watch the video. I had some Milanesa, real thin beef, and I dehydrated it. I have kept this in my freezer since 9/2. Today is the 16th. Still tastes good. And so I will have this jerky along. I'm keeping this in the freezer because I don't know if I dehydrated it long enough, and I didn't want it to go bad. So it's been in my freezer. So that way I'll know I can pull this out and it'll be good to go. I'll put it in the refrigerator for my trip. So yeah, if you have a dehydrator, you can dehydrate your own meat and you can nibble on that. You can take your burgers and a couple of pieces of jerky, and you know, while everybody's eating their snacks that they serve at the conference, you can confidently go to your conference and know that you got burgers and you have jerky. Let me tell you something. Nobody's looking at your food on your plate. They don't care. There's other people with certain dietary needs and they bring their own food. So don't be intimidated to take your own food to a work conference. So after this has been frozen solid, I will go through and break it up. This is what I used last time I did it. You can see there's still bits of meat at the bottom of these. So I just kind of go through and chop it up. It's not going to be perfect, and it's okay because it's just for my dogs. If you want yours to be all perfect, well, you might have to find a different method. But this is the method I use. I go through and make strips one way, and then I make strips the other way. And then when they're all done, I put them in this container, and I keep it in the freezer. And I use these as treats for my dogs. They've been getting these for a long time. If you don't give your dog these treats, that's okay. I'm just showing you what I do. My dogs tolerate it very well. I know some people say, the vets say you shouldn't give your dogs fat, and that's all right. People who follow the food pyramid said we shouldn't eat a bunch of meat either, but you know, so you do what makes you happy and what works for you. But I know what works for my puppy dogs, and these fat bomb treats work very well for them, and they do not have any like negative side effects. So then using this is I don't know what the real name for this is, but I think it's a dough, I don't know, scraper, some kind of scraper of some sorts. And I'll just put them in here, and I might have too many. And if that's the case, then I'll put some in another little container. And if you want to make fat bombs for yourself, well, you could probably do that too. I don't, because I have enough fat on my body that I've never really, well, when I first started, I did fat bombs, but as I realized I had enough fat that I didn't need to make any fat bombs, then I don't make fat bombs for myself. So, there we go. And let me show you how I give these to the dogs. Hang on just a second. One, two, three. Don't bite. Easy. Easy. Okay. And there you go. So now I keep these in the freezer, and whenever I want to give them a treat, I give them one of these. Talk about whole food and not a bunch of added stuff. All right. Bye.